Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Kimberly with Journal Breeze, and thank you for stopping by. I appreciate your checking out this video. It is going to be a super duper quickie, and I am going to be sharing with you an idea that came about, and I'm calling this my writing journal with a twist. And so it's not an entirely new idea, but it's more, it's a little less casual than the other idea. The materials in it are a little less casual, although this is an Amazon bag under here. Yeah, an Amazon bag, just like this. And I wanted to point out this label. What do you think that's made of? A little closer you might be able to tell. It's made of silk. But doesn't it look like metal? Doesn't it look like metal? This is obviously paper, this is metal, or this is silk, and it warmed up the whole journal. With this black, it's grosgrain, but a little less textured. I like it. And it kind of, I almost like went, oh boy, that's almost like too much black, because there is a lot of black. And when I put this fabric down here, it just warmed the whole thing up. So color's interesting and fun, and you never know, right, what's going to happen when you add a certain color. So anyway, so what's the twist? Well, I want you to notice, okay, gold edges on this paper, and it is really the cause of my twist. I had intended to cut down the paper to fit within this cover that came out of the size of the Amazon bag. Oh, by the way, I glued these grosgrain ribbons into, let's see, to right there. So I didn't feel the need to go all the way around. I only had this much, so I cut it in half and came up with it that way. So this is what the inside looks like, but voila, they come out. And that means that when I'm done writing in these pages, I can pull more out of the journal that I took these from. And I pulled out 2 signatures, and then I stitched them together. I went back and forth whenever I could, forming X's, and then sometimes you were forced to just go to the next one over. So I think you can see this best on the inside. These are from the Paper Cameos New Kids Journal Bling. And this is why I made this journal, was that I wanted to use the hinges. So I lined these up exactly, but you can see they're different patterns. This is like a butterfly, and this is like an arrowhead. But it is super sturdy. But first I stitched them together. Maybe you can see a little bit of the crisscrossing that's going on here, and maybe not. But it's very sturdy and it lies flat, and that's what I wanted. It's so much easier to write when it's flat. So that was my goal. But then when I realized that I didn't want to cut off the gold edges, I decided not to sew it in. I was going to have the hinges on but still sew it in. And I realized, wow, this can become a wrap for the journal pages, and when these are used up, I put in new ones, and I can put these on my shelf with other journals. Do you love it? I love it. I love it. I love it. So I thought I'd just show you a couple of the, in case you're new to journaling, show you a couple of, like, how I pulled this out, and a little bit more about the bag. I wish I could tell you who made this paper. If you happen to know who made this paper, let me know. I did not mark my folder, and it's not on the sheets, and I looked for you and I could not find it. So it's gorgeous. And I would like to give that person credit. So the bag was this size. This is a pretty small bag as they go from Amazon in my household anyway. This is 9 wide and almost 22 long. And literally I could just fold it in half, and I think that makes it right. Yeah. So I didn't use it as a pocket. I did not use it as a pocket. I don't remember it being, it's not that thick, and it makes me think that, I only made it a couple weeks ago, but I think I had cut the bag down a while ago. I cut off the flanges, you know, the part that's totally flat and doesn't have any padding. I cut that off on 3 sides. And yeah, and I did have this is like double, like the paper wrapped around. So it's a nice healthy spine. As paper goes, I think it's really sturdy for a spine. And I do have that. So I guess I must have kept it together. Let's see how that size goes. Well, I'll tell you what this size is. It's 10 by, it's 8 tall and 5 wide, as I recall. 5.5 wide. So it's a normal size journal, but it's just the wrap. So I'm thinking that I folded it up and I did it like that. Once you cut the flange off, it lands there. But the binding looks like this, which makes me think that I actually cut the flange off, opened it up, laid this in here, and cut around it. Either way, you know, this is not that heavy duty, but this side is heavier and this side is flatter. So I guess it depends on what you want. But in any case, it's a pretty good size, whatever way you go, I think. And then in terms of taking things out from a journal, this is new, and I think it's really worth saving this cover to fill it with, you know, other papers when I'm done using it. It's heavy duty enough, and it's got a leather, you know, it's not going to tear, and I don't see any reason to not reuse it. Once it's covered, it'll have even more strength. And then you can see, hopefully, the signatures in there. Let's see if I can find one. Looks like it's providing one with this bookmark. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so you can see, and they are not hard to get apart. But in this journal, there's one left behind every signature that I've taken out, like a complete encasing. So this encased that. So it doesn't come out entirely like we're used to. So you can see how those are still in there. And there was, if I would have ripped them out, it wouldn't have made sense. Now why is that? I don't know. Okay, so this one went to that signature, and this goes to this signature. So if you ripped it, then this would actually not be connected to anything. So that's why. So in order to keep, I don't know. I'm no book smart maker. I'm not. I have no idea what I'm doing. It just works. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. Looking at it, I'm not feeling like it's going to do the same thing. But let's just say we find the center and let it speak by coming apart the way it wants. Why should I be even worrying about it? Once I get the center cut out, it'll just come undone in its own way. I don't have to think about it. Oh my goodness, where's that center? Oh my goodness sakes. Yeah, she knows what she's doing. Sure she does. Sure she does. Ah, there we go. Okay. I'll bring you down. Don't get sick on the ride. Okay, let's see. So, oh. Oh God, let me turn the camera off. It'll all work out better. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. Oops. There we go. Okay. So then you go back and you find the two edges again. And you pull up. Now I'm thinking this is going to go over there. Okay, let's see. Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I've got... There we go. Okay. And it just literally pulls out that easy. But you can see how many papers are left. I'm just used to using old books and they don't do that. But it's nice. It's almost like it's ready to be an altered book when you're done. That's interesting. There we go. So we have our two loose signatures. And you can see the holes are very easy. So I just reused the same holes. Can you see those on there? And that was it. So have fun, guys. I hope that was clear. But I want to end with this. And that's a wrap. See you next time. Bye-bye.